Bomber, Chapter 7, Love Speaks. This is the penultimate chapter in Bomber. Two guards pushed Mike behind Christoph, whose legs were now twitching as he was dragged across the threshold in front of a squat black sentry box. Mike fought against the guards, desperately trying to resist their grip as fear coursed through him. Noticing the officer, a corporal presented arms at the salute and then resumed their on-guard position. The deafening sound of boots hitting the ground echoed in Mike's ears, overpowering his racing heartbeat. Christoph was moaning. Blood trailed behind him from numerous open wounds. The SS men kept him upright, forcing him to look at the scene ahead of him. The neatly ranked prisoners stood in silence, except for a cough, a sigh, a groan, but no muttering, no talking, and no other sounds could be heard. Their eyes conveyed a mix of defiance and resignation, a silent language that spoke of their collective suffering. The silence was oppressive and foreboding as the trio drew nearer the large barrel that had been brought into the Appellplatz assembly plaza. Mike watched as a fire hose was run out to the barrel. He saw from the other side a group of striped uniformed prisoners. He noticed they also bore the pink triangle symbol, carrying a large metal cylinder with a squat frame that looked like it would be used to raise the metal barrel off the asphalt apron. One of the group carried a burner and a hose. Mike had seen these cylinders used to launch hot air balloons on hot summer English days. As a child, he watched the so-called envelopes inflate and strain against their mooring ropes, whilst brightly summer-dressed figures clambered into thick wicker baskets and waited to be hoisted aloft into the cloudless summer Norfolk skies. He pictured Ginge on that London station and was filled with a peaceful, loving longing. He'd once seen a bronze man who called himself an aeronaut with his chest bared, his biceps rippling, his torso straining to heft sandbags out of the basket for a launch. The figure had seemed beautiful to him, measured, strong, and somehow kindly, even from his appearance. His heart had fluttered even then as a child, but he didn't know why, of course. He thought of Ginge, and the feeling of peace returned. As gentle as a breeze rustled the leaves around him. The young boy closed his eyes, relishing the warmth of the sun on his face. The trio reached the barrel and the apparatus was set up as Christoph was forced to stand while being stripped naked. His frail, weak, battered form looked broken by all that he'd physically endured. But his vulnerable exterior, but beneath his vulnerable exterior, there was a flicker of unwavering resilience in Christoph's eyes. The SS captain ordered Mike to stop at a chair that had been placed, on which he was then ordered to sit. As the assemblage of items continued, the black uniformed officer drew up behind him and stage whispered in perfect Oxford English. He was so close, Mike could feel his spittle on his earlobe. What he whispered, so only he could hear, sent a chill through Mike's whole body. "What a shame," the captain hissed, the words dripping with sadistic delight. "Have you ever boiled a frog, my little English flyer?" Not waiting for an answer, the hushed voice continued, treating his question as rhetorical. "Possibly you wouldn't do that in your country. Even if you did, you would never boil a live frog. Although I do believe you Englanders do boil live lobsters, and some of you say that they even scream. But that's not really screaming, it's just steam escaping from their shells." Mike's heart raced as he strained to listen to the ominous words of the man behind him. Mike watched as the barrel was placed on the metal stand. He heard the rubber hose being connected to a propane cylinder, while one of the special commandos placed the burner underneath before coming over to the captain, and then handing him a spark igniter like you would use on, say, a gas ring. The captain took the igniter, shooing the other pink triangled prisoners away. Mike was shocked as Officer Bauer toyed with the device inches from his wide-opened eyes. He blinked as Bauer continued. "Heads up, boys." Bauer smirked. "This little spark can incite a world of chaos. I will now place that degenerate in that barrel, ignite the burner, and slowly bring this unnatural creature, this sinner against God's creation, this blight on the human race, to a boil." Mike's heart pounded in his chest as Officer Bauer's chilling words filled the air. At that moment, a blonde-haired, uniformed SS man strode over to the naked Christoph, who was positioned just near the barrel, on which Mike could read the words, "Standard Oil." Kneeling as he gestured to one of the special commandos to open the valve, Bauer sparked the igniter as the blue flame caught. The heat from the ignited flame licked at the edges of the barrel, casting an eerie glow on Christoph's trembling form. And we'll leave that there for part 1 of chapter 7.